I found this article from Design Arena and I thought it had to be a video. All credits go to the Design Arena team and Anmay Gupta from Intelligence AI for the original analysis. What they found is remarkable, and it changes how we think about open versus closed models. Here's the breakdown. But first, what is Design Arena? It's a platform where AI models generate websites from a single prompt, and human judges vote on which design they prefer. Think of it as a blind taste test for AI-generated web design. Models go head-to-head, and the leaderboard ranks them by win rate. It's one of the few benchmarks that measures subjective design quality, not just code correctness. GLM-5.2 ranks first overall on Design Arena's single-turn HTML web design evaluation. Not second, not third, first. 5 places higher than its predecessor, GLM 5.1. To get there, it beat Claude Fable 5, Opus 4.6, and Opus 4.7. That model line has held the top spots for months on the Design Arena leaderboards and won more head-to-head matchups than any other model they track. This is the first model to ever take first place from the Claude line on this benchmark, and it's MIT licensed. Zhipu achieved this with a model that is the same size as GLM 5.1, 744 billion total parameters with only 40 billion active per token, without vision capabilities, while its nearest competitors are speculated to be as much as 6.7 times larger. A mixture of experts model, smaller in active compute, beating models that are supposedly much bigger. Let that sink in. An open source model from China, with no vision, that costs 11 times less, just beat Anthropic's flagship on web design. If you're an AI investor, that should make you uncomfortable. GLM 5.2 also establishes a new Pareto frontier for preference versus price: $1.40 per million input tokens, $4.40 per million output, versus Claude Fable 5's $10 and $50. That's 11 times cheaper for output, 7 times cheaper for input, and now ranking higher on web design. The open model isn't just catching up on coding benchmarks, it's winning on design preference, where humans judge which website looks better. But let's be clear about what GLM 5.2 doesn't win. It's ranked second after Fable 5 on game dev, data visualization, and 3D design leaderboards, fourth on UI components. The win is specifically in website design, the category that arguably matters most for real-world front-end work. So what changed? Design Arena ran a case-by-case analysis to find out the overarching takeaway from their analysis. GLM 5.2 avoids common error cases that most AI models fail to handle, generates more intricate websites, and specializes in designing structures that users prefer over other results. 3 specific behaviors explain the jump. Behavior 1. GLM 5.2 outputs seem to indicate a beautiful set of starting templates. When Design Arena looked at 1,000 randomly sampled websites generated by both GLM 5.2 and Fable 5, they screenshot each generated website and grouped them by visual similarity. What they found is that GLM 5.2 has a tendency to produce templated, similar responses even when the prompts are very different. This is normal for frontier-level models. It's the result of many factors, from a model's architecture down to its training data. While these templates aren't visible in day-to-day work, when aggregated and compared, they come to light. The difference with GLM 5.2 is that its templates perform much better than those of other frontier models. Its templates don't contain anti-patterns like the infamous purple gradients that plagued early AI-generated websites. Compare this to Fable 5, whose outputs are more widespread than GLM 5.2's. It's more difficult to find exact templates in Fable 5's output. This is indicative of Fable 5 being a more general model that produces a wider array of diversified outputs. But here's the key insight. This customized technique does not seem to perform better on website generation just yet. The expert template-based method employed by GLM 5.2 is favored among users as being a higher bar for the average output quality. GLM 5.2 wins not by being more creative, but by having better defaults. Behavior 2. GLM 5.2 avoids common error cases. Much of its improvement can be explained by the fact that it generates code that just works. This is most clearly seen in GLM 5.2's use of dependencies like Chart.js and Three.js. While other models often fail to effectively use these libraries, GLM 5.2 calls and uses them naturally, resulting in a 6.0 percentage point win rate increase for the 21% of sessions that use them. The usage of these libraries is especially helpful for the dashboard and 3D design categories, where proper library integration dramatically improves performance. It also uses TailwindCSS in 91% of sessions and Font Awesome in 51% to increase win rates by 1.2 percentage points by crafting intricate design interactions in websites. Compare this to Opus 4.8, which only uses Tailwind CSS in 57% of sessions and potentially sees a drop because of it. GLM 5.2 also has improved layout skills, especially when it comes to above-the-fold design. It generally makes use of beautiful outside CDN images instead of building its own visuals and has an improved sense of layout over its competitors. The ability to use outside dependencies is crucial for improving its performance as it avoids the error cases that cause other models to fall behind. Behavior 3. More intricate, detailed outputs. GLM 5.2 generates animated, elaborate websites with more variation in typography, visual layout, and animation. These perform especially well for marketing and landing page websites, crafting customized user experiences that feel thoughtful and well-designed. This strategy comes at a cost: longer generation times as the model outputs more tokens. GLM 5.2 produced 25% more characters and lines of code in testing, with an average generation time of 304.7 seconds. That's twice as long as Claude Fable 5. This places GLM 5.2 at the Pareto frontier of website preference versus speed, but on the wrong side, where it trades preference for speed. While this does boost win rate, it has diminishing returns, with the ideal range being between 46,000 and 57,000 characters long. This is a significant divergence from other models. Fable 5 generates 38% less lines of code and 29% less characters than its competitors. Fable 5 is faster. GLM 5.2 is more thorough. The question is whether users prefer fast and good enough or slow and polished. On Design Arena, they prefer polished. In agentic settings, GLM 5.2 generates 11% more files and calls 17% more tools than its competitors, but actually generates slightly less code overall. Since GLM 5.2 is able to generate functional code for most libraries on the first try, it's often able to add additional functionality and generate more interactive functional websites that have higher prompt fidelity than other models. And it's not just about winning benchmarks. Design Arena's head-to-head format means every win is a human preference. When GLM 5.2 beats Fable 5, it means real people looked at both websites and chose the GLM one. That's a different signal than a coding benchmark. It's a signal about taste, polish, and user experience. So what does this mean for model selection? If you're building a website and you want it to look great on the first try, GLM 5.2 is now the model to beat. If you need speed and you're okay with good enough, Fable 5 is still excellent and generates faster. If you need 3D, data viz, or game dev, Fable 5 still leads. But for the most common web design task, landing pages, marketing sites, dashboards, the open model just took the crown. GLM 5.2 is a step forward in design improvements and a huge leap forward for open source models as a whole. Its combination of agent trace distillation and token level improvements has optimized it for performance in single turn tasks. Launches like this are a reminder of how fast the open source frontier is moving and how what was state of the art a few months ago is now being matched and exceeded by models anyone can build on, fine-tune, and deploy freely. Every release like this gives researchers and developers more powerful foundations to push from. The moat isn't 6 months deep anymore. It's not even 6 days. On web design, it's gone. If you want to see how GLM 5.2 compares to other models, try it yourself on designarena.ai. That's the breakdown. All credits to the Design Arena team and Anmay Gupta from Intelligence AI for the original analysis. If this clicked for you, subscribe. Cloud Codes takes apart one system every week. Build, solve, deploy.